Alright, hey guys, welcome back to grade 10 computers. Done really anything with computers so far, just because I know it's an elective course. It's kind of, we're at a little bit of an awkward stage when we left last, where we hadn't quite started coding yet. We were just finishing up Scratch, so I thought what we could do is a small Scratch assignment to see who's still, who's still following along here. So let's do that. This is going to be a quiz game. And so I'm going to choose a background. And I'm going to find something where this cat is on a stage. He's going to be the host of the game. And so he's going to kind of control the flow of the game. This one will be good for us here. So there is my cat sprite. I want him to start right on the stage when the game starts. So I am going to add this when clicked icon. And I am going to tell him to move to where he is, right there. So then anytime I run my program, he moves back to that spot, which is nice, in case I accidentally, click on him or whatever. Okay, so we're going to get him to ask a question. And typically what we would have done was just ask with this blue thing there and got the person to type in the answer, like, what's your name? And then the person could type it in. But that's going to make a pretty boring quiz game. I want to actually be able to have, like, who wants to be in millionaire style answers on the screen. The person can click on them. So we'll do that. We'll just get the cat to say something like, hello. Who wants to be a cat tillionaire or something like that. Okay. And then I'll get him to say the first question. The first question for $100 is, what is the capital of Canada? Spelled Canada wrong. Canada like that. Okay, so and now what's going to happen is I want 4 answers to come up on this screen. Where's that little cat? There he is there. And so I'm going to make some new sprites. I'm going to make 4 of them. I will draw them myself. And I'm just going to draw a little square. And I'll draw them like this. It's probably big enough for me to put some answers in. See if that's a bit too, maybe that's a bit too wide. I'll shrink that down a little bit. Still probably a touch too wide, so I'll shrink that down a bit more. And there you go. And I'll call this thing answer 1. Like that. So there's my sprite. And I can even put an answer in here, give me the... Now I don't want purple this time. I might just go white. Where can I find white? I guess any kind of saturation will make it white, so we'll do it that way. Okay, so I'm going to type in, I don't know, Washington, D.C., something like that. Just pull that into there. And there's my first answer, and that's good. And it only has 1 costume for now. I can duplicate that, and I'll put it here, right? Before I actually duplicate it, though, I'm going to delete it. I'm going to put a little bit of code in here that says, when I click my game, I want this Washington DC sprite, answer 1 sprite, to start where it's at, right? So I want it to start here like that. That way, if I ever drag it around by accident, when I start my game, it'll be up there. Okay, so now if I duplicate it, I'm going to put this one over here like this. Now I don't want that one to say Washington, D.C., and I will switch that in a second. I also need to change my go-to to the position it's at now. I'll duplicate this one. Notice it's renaming them, which is nice, to answer 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll put the third answer down here. I also want this go-to to be at the position it's at now, and I'll duplicate this last one here as well. And we will change the go-to on that as well. That way, if you end up dragging and clicking or something weird like that, your game's not all screwed up, because when you go to start, they all get put back in the right spots. So if I want, I could change all these answers. Maybe answer 2 will have the right answer, right? So I'll call this Ottawa. And I'll center that a little bit. And I'll call this one maybe Toronto. Oops, mess that up. Nope. And then the last one, I'll just put some whatever, what's been in the news lately. Wuhan. There you go. There's my 4 answers. Now it's up to the person to click on the answer when the cat asks the question. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is, once I get to the second question, I'm just going to change the costume. I'm going to duplicate this costume and just put different answers in there. So let's see what kind of code we're going to need to allow this person to click on this thing as well, right? So to check if I'm clicking on something, what I need to do is, first of all, I need code in here in each 4 of these answers that lets the answer bubble know what question I'm on. So the way you do that is you get the cat to set up the questions you're on using a command called broadcasting. And that is under events, yes. So as soon as he asks this question, what's the capital of Canada, I can broadcast a message. Now I can write any name I want. So I will say question 1 like that. Okay. And then in all of these answer bubbles, I can put a when I receive question 1 bubble here. Now, for instance, let's just do something silly like get the answer bubble to say hello. So when I run it, he says hello. What's the question? And notice that this thing actually says hello. It received the broadcast from the cat. He said this broadcast 1 after he asked this question. All right, so I don't obviously want that. What I want to do is I want to check if the person clicks on it, and if they do, they actually are going to lose my game, because answer 1 is not the right answer. So I need to make a loop, and it has to be constantly checking if the person clicks on it. And I'm going to say if touching mouse pointer, it's not enough just to say if touching mouse pointer. I actually need to say if it's touching mouse pointer and the mouse button has been clicked. So I'm going to put an and in here. And is there a way to check if the mouse is down? And mouse down. There we go. Okay, so let's see if I put something in there like, I don't know. Let's change his size by 10. Let's just see what happens, for instance. Run that. Notice how this has a yellow ring around it, which means it's running. If I hit that, look at that. That's a bit of a problem. I have to go back and set the size to 100, because every time I click on it, even if I just touch it, it thinks it's clicking like 100 times or how like 30 times a second, right? So I don't actually want to click. I actually want to mouse up. I want to know if my mouse has been clicked up. So the way I'm going to do that is to go in here and make one more if statement that says if. So it waits for me to click my mouse and waits for my mouse to be down. And then, you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to put this wait until command, and I'm going to put not mouse down. So what that's going to do is it waits for you to click on it, and then it's going to wait for you to release your mouse before it does any of the code. And for me, it's just simple. I want to quit my game, so I just write stop all. Or I could, you know what I could do? I could broadcast a message so that the cat tells you you lost. So why don't I just instead, I'll broadcast game over. It's a message that that my cat can now, when I receive game over, then he can say something like, you lost. Sorry, you chose wrong. The game is over. Something like that. And then to stop any game in Scratch, you do the stop all command. Wait, where'd my sentence go? Did I delete it? Sorry, you chose wrong. The game is over. All right, let's try it. All right. What is the capital again? Now I can click on any of these. They don't do anything. I didn't add any code to those yet. But if I click on Washington, D.C., you can see that this yellow ring around this code means it's running. And if I click on Washington, D.C., he says, sorry, the game is over. You have lost. Okay, so that's good. I can actually copy this code. I think I can just pull it over to answer 3. See how it gave a little waggle there? And I can pull it over to answer 4. It gives a little waggle there too. If I go into 3 and 4, I now have that code in there. Like that. Okay. So that's good. We're going to see in a minute, there'll be a few little issues that we're going to come across, but we'll be able to fix those too. Okay, so now if you click on the wrong answers, they should all say you chose wrong. If I choose Toronto, no, you chose wrong, the game is over. If I restart my game, you may want to change this to like 1 in 1 second so you don't have to sit there forever when you're testing it. If I choose 4, like that, it says the game is over as well. And there's no code for if I get the right answer. Not yet anyways, but I am going to just copy this wrong answer code over here and put it in my right answer. Okay. And instead of broadcasting game over, I am going to broadcast, where's my broadcast commands? That we're on to question 2, right? Because you got it right. So we'll write new message, we'll write question 2. And now all I have to do with my cat is say, when I receive question 2, he knows you got it right, so he can say, you know, and you can even keep score, great job. Here is question 2. And then we'll get him to say it. What is the largest cat species on Earth for all you Tiger King fans? Okay, and question 2 has been broadcast, and so that's fine. So now what I want to do is I need to go into my into the costumes of all of my answers and add a new costume. Oops. So I'm going to go back. Hopefully this didn't freeze my computer. And I'm just going to duplicate that costume. And I'm going to do it on all of them. Before I do that, I'll just write in an answer. So maybe question 1, the right answer is a ligar. It's a mix between a tiger and a lion. So that is the correct answer. For Ottawa, I'll duplicate that one. Under costume 2, I'll put in something different, like a lion. For answer 3, I'll duplicate that. I will put in something dumb like giraffe. And for question 4, I'll put a lynx. It's like a little cat. A little oh, I messed that up because I actually need to duplicate those. I did it for that one, but I did not do it for this one. So now I'm going to duplicate it, so I have 2 answers, and now I can write in lynx. Okay, great. Now what I'm going to do is, for the code, I'll probably keep all of this stuff. Actually, I'll just redo it again. So I'll say when I receive question 2, and then once you have this kind of structure, you can just like rinse and repeat and add as many questions as you want. Okay, so I'm going to add a forever loop here. The one thing I need to do though is I need to add this stop command here and say stop other scripts in this sprite. The reason why this line is important is because if I don't click on this answer, like let's say I'm running my game, right? And I click on the right answer. Oh, first of all, these, I already see an issue. These didn't go back to costume 1. So the first thing I should probably do is I should, when I get my first question, I should switch to costume 1. Or even maybe when I just start the game up, right? Maybe here, right when I click the game, start at costume 1. And the same with all 4 of them. That way I don't have the wrong answers on there when you go to click. So you see that Scratch can get pretty complicated when you have all these sprites talking to each other. Little mistakes can happen very easily. Okay, so those are the right costumes now. Notice that this is yellow, right? And this one's yellow as well, which means it's running. If I click on Ottawa, oh, it actually did stop it. That's kind of good. Scratch might have realized it. Might have fixed itself. There used to be a little bit of a glitch when you would do that, but oh, you know why? I had that in there. So let me get rid of that. Let me run my program. And if I click on Ottawa, I'm on to question 2, but do you notice that question 1 is still open? That's an issue. Same here. Question 1 is still open. It's still running this loop. And same with question 1 here. And all the ones I didn't click on, basically, it's still running this loop. So it will actually still be checking all of this stuff. And I don't want it to do that. So every time I start a new question, I just want to stop everything that was running before that. So that's why I need this on all of my other questions. Other scripts in this sprite. Script is just like a block of code. Everything else will be the same. I can duplicate that. Here I would broadcast a new message called question 3, right? Because that actually is the right answer. The other thing I would need to do is I would need to make sure that the costume gets switched. So I'm going to say next costume there. Okay, so that's the right answer. All the other ones are wrong. So I'm just going to copy that, paste it into answer 2 until it waggles there. Paste it into answer 3 until it waggles. Paste it into answer 4 until it waggles. Okay, but the code I'm going to put in here is a game over because that question 2 is the wrong answer. Answer 3 is the wrong answer on question 2, so I will put game over as well. And answer 4 is wrong on question 2 as well. So there you go. Broadcast game over. So let's run this thing. See if we can get 2 questions to work. What's the capital of Canada? If I click on Ottawa, he says great job. Here's question 2. What is the largest cat on Earth? If I pick any of these, he says the game is over. Looks like it's running without any glitches there, which is pretty cool. We made it kind of a point and click game, right? If I click on Liger, he won't do anything because I didn't tell the cat anything about when I received question 3. But you could just keep going on with it, right? When I receive question 3, you could say, great job, here is question 3, right? And then ask something else. So see if you can make a little cool Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. See if you can maybe add some variables that will keep track of how many points you have and come up with some cool questions, and we'll make that like an assignment in the course if you're interested in doing that. All right. So I'll talk to you soon, and have a good week, and try this if you get a chance. See you guys later. Bye.